Hi. I see people are coming in. Welcome, welcome. Just if you could say hi in the chat, please, and let me know you can hear me. I'm just going to start saging us in while we're waiting for people to join us. It's the magic. Hi, Carrie. Hi, Alyssa. Starting to sage us. Oh, I have been definitely feeling the magic that has been happening from this container. So I'd love to hear if anybody's got anything to share. Go ahead and you can share in the chat. Hi, Jessica. Hi, Jocelyn. We're just saying hi in the chat, making sure you can hear me. Ooh, we'll just give it one more minute. Make sure that is out. I did want to speak a little bit just as we're starting. There was a little bit of an inconsistency in what I had offered for you to do with the earth painting, and then the roles that I was talking about. And so what happened there is that there's been dragon energy that wants to come into the work that I'm creating. And I hadn't necessarily included it in this awakening. And so she decided to just bring herself anyway. She wants to bring her fire to burn and transform everything for us. And so the roles and the practice of burning the roles, there are no mistakes. I posted that without it actually being included in your PDF. And so I'm going to make a couple adjustments so that that makes a little more sense for you with the next activity going forward. But just letting you know that that's sort of what happened there. That was her wanting to come in and be part of this magic that we're creating. So as we're here together, I want to do the practice of opening our 8th chakra, which I did put a video on the portal there on the Mighty to help you understand that practice. So we're just going to go ahead and do that together. And so we bring our hands to heart center. And if you go up into your 8th chakra, the area above your head, and you can feel around a little bit up here and see if you sense the energy being different. See if it feels cool or tingly or maybe nothing at all, and just use your imaginal sense and just open that down over you, all the way down to the ground. Feel it encompassing you in this sacred, beautiful, divine light. And then we're going to open it over everybody in the group, those who are present and those who are also watching the replay. So go ahead again and go up into that 8th chakra and just feel for that and pull that down on everybody who's here in this group with us, and sense that going out over the world and over everybody. And I often get a tingle when we do it as a group, as I feel that beautiful Wetakocha going over me and surrounding me. So thank you. And I would love to start us off with a meditation to just get us grounded into the space today for our learning. And so I'm just going to go off camera while we do that, and just invite you to close your eyes. Feel into the surface that you're sitting on and just really arrive in your body. Our body is the place that our intuition lives. It's where our sensitivities, our feeling sensitivities, our knowing sensitivities, they all reside in our body. And so, really coming in, coming home. And bring your attention to your heart center, your heart chakra, glowing green, right in the center of your chest. And as you breathe into this space, this portal that connects us all of humanity, we breathe deeply into this space and just imagine a small flicker of light, of fire, however that looks for you, glowing in the center of your chest. Feel it waking up your heart. And allow yourself to feel a sense of grateful awe for being alive, for being capable of love and receiving love, for all the amazing beauty that is our lives. And feel the awe stoking that fire. Feel that fire growing brighter and bigger and expanding into your chest. Feel your sensing self expanding. Feel it expanding out past the edges of your body and out into the room around you. Your heart opening, connecting. And allow this sensing self, this heart, this intuitive awareness to keep expanding into the room around you. Feel this light, this fire growing bigger and brighter. Knowing this is you. This is your spiritual self, your soul expanding. And allow it to expand outside of the room you are in and out into the world. Allow yourself to expand all the way into the cosmos. Expanding, expanding, opening. Just breathe into this place, knowing that you are so much more than just your body. You are made of stars. And at any point, you can connect with them, can connect with divine love, divine source. There is no separation. Allow yourself to just float, feeling this deep love that lives within you, that is you. And slowly just start bringing yourself back from the stars, back through the atmosphere, back to the earth, slowly back into your room, and landing back in your body, back in your heart that is activated, that is open, and is full of love. And when you are ready, you can just open your eyes and be here in the room together. And so one of the things that really connects us in with our intuition is our heart. It's a portal. We have our lower chakras that are our earthly chakras, and then we have our upper chakras that are our spiritual chakras. And the thing that connects them is our heart. And it's the portal, it's the place that we all connect through. We have this sort of collective understanding that we communicate through our words, through seeing each other, through touching each other. And all that is true. Yet the real place that we connect is through our heart. And when we are in this full heart connection with each other, that's when we have access to our feeling sensitivities, when we have access to that empathic connection that we share together, and the way that we can communicate without words, and not just with each other, but with the unseen world, with our power animals, our spirit guides, all of the support that we have. It's this portal of the heart. And the portal of the heart is also what we can use to travel lines of consciousness. So everything in our world, including us, is consciousness. And so when we open our heart, we allow ourselves access to our past lives, to different timelines, to all sorts of information that we can then read and use in our lives to move ourselves forward, to connect more deeply, to have these understandings of magical practices. And it all comes from this portal of the heart. And so it's a very special and precious and important part of our intuitive journey, is how do we align with our heart? How do we come to a place where all the chatter of our head, all the stories we tell ourselves, the different unhealthy relationships we have with so many different things, how do we come back into alignment in our heart, whereby we're not referencing those parts of ourselves, but we're really referencing this truth of who we truly are? And from that place, our intuition is just there because it's who we are. We don't have to find it. We don't have to search for it. It is us, and it lives in our heart. And so we've been in this portal for a few days now, or in our container together. And I'd love to hear what magic you guys have been seeing and experiencing in your life since we started. And as you're typing in the chat, I'm just going to say a few of the things that I've noticed in my life. And so one of the things recently this week is birds. I have never seen so many birds, especially in the middle of winter. And they just arrive and they land and they start singing. Or I walk outside and a flock of them will take flight. And it's a message for me. It's magic. It's happening. It wasn't happening before, and now it's happening. And so there's signs everywhere when we open our awareness to seeing them. Spirit is always trying to get our attention and share something with us. So I also got some body work done yesterday. And as part of my process, I've been working on connecting more in with that central channel and the divine feminine energy. And yesterday in the bodywork session, I actually could feel the energy moving up through my system. And what was even more surprising is that the person that was working on me could feel it also. There was this connection that we both felt without speaking about it, without me telling him. He felt it and mentioned it. And I said, yeah, I know what you're talking about. So there's these signs everywhere, and that ability of our connection of without words, with us sensing and understanding the same things at the same time. And Alyssa says she saw 2 falcons swoop in front of her car yesterday. I always see that as a good sign. Yeah. Oh, I love falcons. They are one of my favorite birds. And they have such beautiful medicine of being in our power and really honoring ourselves. And so Jocelyn just had that experience with her husband today over lunch, how he's feeling this shift in his energy. And Jocelyn, were you feeling that shift with him too? Is that the conversation you're referring to, like being able to have that empathic connection with him? Oh, yeah, beautiful, right? Like when that's such a great part of this. It's that why this work is so beautiful and why I'm so passionate about it is that when we work on ourselves, when we shift our energy, when we get a deeper connection within ourselves, we shift the world around us, because everything is connected. So we don't operate in an isolated situation. We affect all areas of our life. And it's so beautiful because, especially when we're looking at the healing journey, as we heal the things inside us that hurt and the wounding, we are healing 7 generations forward and 7 generations backward. That's the practices of the shamanic traditions, that they hold that belief and mythology. And knowing, I mean, I've seen it happen. It's not a myth, it's real. It heals forward and backward for each other. So we're coming together as a planet, as humanity, as a world, to really help each other grow and awaken and heal. And we're doing this together. Yeah, it's definitely a magical experience. I agree, Jocelyn. Um, so I was also, so one of the things, or a couple of things we're going to look at today, is about deepening our intuition. And so one of the first things to sort of lay a foundation for is the idea of reality and how we create our own reality. Nothing outside of us is really real. It's just our projection of what we believe to be true. And obviously, we have some collective beliefs that, this is a chair that I'm sitting on, and that's a door over there, and things that we have collectively agreed exist in a real way. Yet, the situations that appear in our life are purely subjective to what we believe about the way life works. And so, because of this, we have this amazing power and capability to change our reality at any given moment. And what it takes is just us believing something different, or creating a different relationship with what we're seeing and what we're interacting with. And um, so from this place, so science has proven, right? There's the idea of the particle and the wave is the fluid, it's moving, you can't really touch it or hold it. And the particle is the thing that bounces. You can touch it, it interacts with things in a specific way. The fascinating thing is that both exist, and what in our thought form context, what happens is things become out of the waveform and into the particle form when they become witnessed. So until we actually put our consciousness or our attention on something, it hasn't fully formed yet. But when we look at it, it takes shape. It becomes form. And it then is real in our life. And we have that power with us, inside us, in our thoughts, in our words, in our doing, in our actions. Everything that we see and come across, we created because of what we thought. We put that into the world. And so I preface this with a way of deepening our intuition, because one of the biggest ways that we can connect in with our intuition is through choice and through our power of deciding. And before I go there, I just want to see, there's a couple comments in the chat. So Jessica says she came across a white horse the other day. She let me pet her and wanted me to keep petting her. My cat also has been coming for me for more comfort. Yeah, animals, we're so connected to animals. They just have this beautiful way of knowing what is happening. I was in session with somebody yesterday, and she started releasing some energy, and my dog came running down the stairs to stand at the door to see what was happening. We weren't making any noise. She was just releasing energy, and he could sense it. And he came, he's like, what's happening in here? And so that idea, we're all connected. And Carrie says, in yoga practice, Warrior 3 balancing pose, tapping into intense focus. I started to feel connect with invisible balancing support in reaching for the air, for invisible cords to touch my hands on for support. Yeah, yes, that support is always there with us. We just have tuned it out. But when we start to open that part of our awareness that allows us to see and to feel, it's there. It's always there. And then by Carrie, by you seeing it and giving it substance and feeling it, then it becomes even more real. And then it's part of our experience because now you are being involved in it. And so the power of choice strengthens our intuition. Like in my life, I've seen it work time and time again. When I'm in this space of being undecided, everything feels a little wishy-washy. I don't know what I'm doing. I need help. I'm not really centered. I'm not really connected. I'm having a hard time connecting with my guides. I'm having a hard time knowing what I should be doing. There's a lot of stuff happening. And yet, when I decide, when I make a choice, all of a sudden everything gets clear. There's no question anymore. I just decided. And in that, I strengthened that muscle of my intuition. Because what I found is it's not always our journey with our intuition and our guides isn't always about trusting them or trusting something outside of ourselves. A big part of the journey is trusting in ourselves. And if I want something and I decide to do it, that is trusting in my ability to follow through, to make that happen, to create and to materialize something, like to actually honor my decision. And so a big part of that, right, is coming into who am I? Who am I in my authority? Who am I in my power of deciding? That really allows me to have trust in myself and what I'm doing and the choices that I'm making. And so I found that really practicing, choosing, and following through with action has really catapulted in a forward momentum my connection with my intuition and my ability to choose for myself. And there's no right or wrong decision. There's just the decision that we make. And then the energy we put behind that decision and how we allow it to shape our lives. And so making mistakes is a big part of really coming into alignment with our inner wisdom. Because by making those mistakes, we then get to come back to the path. We get to say, oh, that didn't work out as I planned. However, look at all these gifts I harvested. So it really wasn't a mistake. It was just a choice I made in the direction that I'm going. And this practice of being with ourselves in right or wrong or mistake or doing not a mistake, and really allowing all of that to be okay, strengthens our ability to hear our inner voice and to move in that direction that we want. So that is one of the biggest tools that I have used and I offer as you're on this journey of coming more into alignment with yourself. And there's this simple spell that I love, and I'm going to share with you. And it's decide, ask, open, receive. Super simple. Make your decision, ask for support, ask to be shown, show me what's the next step, right? Not the whole map, because that can get a little intimidating, a little overwhelming, but just what's my next step? What's one thing I can do today that is going to help me on this path I've decided to take? And then open, really just surrender to what spirit is going to give you and allow yourself to really be open to that. And then allow yourself to receive the guidance, because that tends to be a part where we shut ourselves down, where we are not really open to receive. And that can be a lot of things, right? But really having an awareness that I am going to open my field and really receive what spirit wants to give me today. And then I'm going to keep moving along that path. And then eventually you wake up one morning and you're like, oh, I'm here. This is where this was my decision. And it's that simple, repeating that spell over and over until you get to where you want to go. And sometimes you might take a really big detour, and that's all part of it, right? Like the GPS, you put in the coordinates of where you want to go, and then you take the wrong turn, but the GPS just reroutes you. It doesn't make you go to the wrong place. It just gives you a different way to get there. And so it's like that with spirit and with this spell and this connecting in with this internal guidance. It's just, you just get rerouted, but nothing is lost. So with all that, I'd love to hear, I have a question for you of if you knew you had the power to create your reality, however, yeah, thanks, Alyssa. It's decide, ask, open, and receive. So those four simple steps. And thank you. And then, so if you knew you had the power to create your reality, what would you do differently? So I'd love to hear in the chat from you, like, what would you do differently if you knew that you have this amazing power to change your reality, to create your reality any way you want, and following these simple steps to being more in touch with your intuition? What would you do differently? What would you create, or how would life be different for you? So I'd love to hear. Sometimes I know it's a little hard to type, especially if you're on your phone or things like that. So while I'm seeing what you guys write, I'm going to just move on to number 2 in ways of, Alyssa's saying, I'm deciding to. So number 2 on deepening your connection with this internal wisdom, with this soul spirit part of yourself, the divine essence of you. Our state of being, who we are being everywhere, and the level of coherence we have inside our body on a physical level, a mental level, emotional, energetic level, plays a big part in what we're able to receive and what we're able to connect into. So our state of being is how you show up in situations. Like something doesn't go right in the morning. For me, example, my kids were just late for school. Most days. And how I am choosing to be in that situation dictates a lot of how connected I can be. And if I choose to have my relationship with time be scarce, and my interaction with my children be harsh and demanding and shouting, there's not a lot of connecting or ability for me to be in my body, open to guidance on how I might interact with my children differently, how I might remember something that all of a sudden I'm like, oh yeah, I already did that. I don't need, we're not rushed anymore. Or, oh, school's this today. Like it takes me away from the ability to discern and to hear, because I am in basically chaos. And so the level of coherence that exists inside you is going to allow for more of you to be present, for more of you to be in your life, not crazy distracted, not frantic, not anxious, hectic, all those sort of places that we go when things aren't going our way. So the more we can come into coherence, the more we can have a state of being that is full and embodied and in our breath and connected to our practices, we show up as a different person. And spirit has the ability to talk to us in that space. There's really no room for spirit when we're spinning in our anxiety or in our lateness, those sorts of things. So this idea of being coherent in who you are and who you choose to be opens this part of ourselves for just for us to feel into what we can't see and use these other senses that we have that we just tend to push down, or I'm so busy, or there's not enough time, and whatever that thing is for you that takes you away from your center. And so um I'm just seeing Alyssa's writing in the chat. I'm deciding to take my big dream to a new level, going bigger beyond what I can imagine, and trusting that this moment is aligned. Yeah, that's so beautiful. Um, and You get to create that reality, right? Like by having that declaration, by deciding, by being in the energy of like, this is what I am creating, and I'm not available for anything less than this, my dream, my choices. This is what I'm showing up to do. So beautiful, Alyssa. And so a third way that we deepen our intuition is through turning towards ourself. And so often, and we've been sort of, society teaches us this. It's not that it's wrong or bad or any of those kind of things. It's just what we're working with. And so it's a beautiful mirror to teach us the opposite, right? So society gives us every opportunity to turn away from ourselves and to turn to distraction, to technology, to food, to alcohol, to social media, whatever the thing is for you that you turn to instead of turning to yourself. And so we have this beautiful opportunity to use that to recognize when we're turning away from ourselves as a way to remember to turn towards ourselves. Because the more we start turning inward, the more we love ourselves, the more we nurture ourselves, the more we are with ourselves in those moments that are so hard to be in, the more expanded we become, the more sensation we're willing to feel inside our body, is the more connection we can have with spirit, with our intuition, with all of the world around us, with our relationships, everything. The capacity we have to be with ourselves, that level of capacity is the same level of capacity that we can have with others and with our spiritual journey, with our intuition. So if we're numbing, right? If we start feeling sensation and then we turn away from ourselves, we have a small bandwidth of what is possible for the deepening into relationship with ourself, with spirit, with the sensation of our intuition. It's like we run away from sensation, and intuition is a lot about sensation. And so by practicing turning towards yourself and allowing sensation to be part of who you are and being with it, it deepens your capacity for feeling, for connecting, for this turning towards this knowing that lives inside you, this spiritual connection that we have. And so I'd love to hear in the chat. I want this to be a little bit interactive. I want to be with you. I don't just want to talk at you for the whole time. So I'd love to hear, like, how are ways that you either turn towards yourself or turn away from yourself? Like, what do you see in that? What medicine are you making from these ways that we can more deeply connect with our intuition? So I'm gonna drink my tea while you type. And so like for me, I'll give some examples. So years ago, um, many years ago, decades ago, for me, that turning away looked like too many glasses of wine, or it looked like overeating or undereating. Those bigger things that numb and take us out of this connection with ourselves and with our heart. And now that I'm much further along the journey, they're a lot more subtle. And I have to kind of hunt and poke for them because they're very sneaky and they kind of take me away. And then I'm like, oh, what's happening? Oh, I see you. And one of those ways, sorry, my hair is tickling my nose. One of those ways is we have these conditioned tendencies that we fall into on ways that we react to situations when we're feeling uncomfortable, when we're moving away from sensation. And they fall into three main categories. And the first one is dissociating, whereby we pull away, we hide, we shut down, where I'm just taking myself away from this. I don't want to deal. And another one is appeasing or moving towards, where we say yes when we don't mean to, or we end up, just trying to make people feel okay when our boundaries are crossed. We sort of want to appease everybody and appease our life, and we're forgetting that we count. And then the third one, which is mine, is defend and deny. And that comes across as like getting a little bit angry or frustrated, or sort of that quick go-to, like, this is, I don't like this. And I get angry, not like off the handle, but that like just that frustration that comes up. Or the deny piece of that is like, oh, well, I didn't want that anyway, or spirit mustn't have wanted that for me, so that's fine. I don't, that kind of denying that I have some feelings about what just happened. And so that's a little bit more how today those turning away from happens, where I catch myself in that pattern. So, Jocelyn, turning towards myself, state of being has been definitely feeling expansive, lovely, joyful, peaceful, freeing. Those are such beautiful words. I feel them. Coming to a grounded place, that liberation, freedom, and peace I have been seeking has always been within. Yes. Yes. So beautiful, Jocelyn. Like that remembering, right? Because it's all a remembering. We know this in our cells, in our DNA, in our just all in us. We know this and we're remembering it. And it's inside of you. It's nothing is outside of us. It's all inside. And so that beautiful journey of turning towards and knowing that everything we need is inside us, is there's so much freedom in that. And Carrie, surf bigger waves more often. Carefully for all that goes into home, embody rhythms and presence and guide, learn and give. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful practices of giving to yourself, right? Like honoring your rhythms, that not other people's rhythms or the world's rhythms, but your own rhythms in your own heart, what works for you. And surfing the waves. I love the waves. And yeah, just giving that to yourself, right? Like allowing yourself to have that joy and that pleasure of surfing waves. Like that feels a little scary and feeling that bigger sensation. And yet there you are showing up for that. So beautiful. Thank you for being with me. And so another tool or another way of getting more connected with our intuition is through meditation. And for me, what I love is a morning routine. And there's this beautiful energy that's available in the time before the sun rises and shortly after. And the stillness, the beauty, the just radiance that lives in that time of day, allows for me to connect more deeply. And so for me, I choose the morning for my meditation because it just feels so much more expansive and available when I'm using that time. And meditation like, I mean, exponentially changed my life when I fully committed to having a meditation practice that was real and deep and something that was non-negotiable. It saved me practically from depression, like after my kids' postpartum depression, and just a real, like, breakdown, spiritual awakening sort of time. That meditation was my, like, I think of it now like that warm blanket that held me while I was healing and growing and changing. And so I have this beautiful relationship with it that I just want to share because I get so much from it, and want to offer that to you as something that you, if you are not already on a meditation journey, that will really, really bring start bringing things into alignment and giving you that ability to connect. And for me, I'm a very active meditator, and that's what I teach is active meditation, working with our energy field, working with journeying, working with memories, working with past lives, all the ways that we learn to have a sense that we're more than just a body. Like there's so much more to us and to the world than this small container that I fit inside. And so for me, those morning practices and those meditations are very active. They're a learning, they're a growing, they're an exploration of who I am as a soul. And so a big part of that, right, is we get caught in our head. We live in our head most of the time. Even me, like it's a constant practice back into my heart, back into my body every time I notice that I am spinning. And so that morning practice and that meditation practice really bring that into awareness. Like that's what a big part of it is for me, is not stopping the thoughts, not controlling the thoughts, because I don't really think that that's really that possible, because our mind is designed to think, like that's just what it does. So it's more about giving it something else to do. And when the mind can be cleared and we can drop into the body with what's going on, so much more is available to us. And so that for me has been very, very helpful on getting more deeply aligned with hearing and knowing and feeling everything else that I am, other than a human body. And let's see, Jessica says, I used to turn into all those things as well, but magnified by a million. I've been living in a box controlled by everyone around me. I took my life back. I took the time I deserved for myself, the love for myself, finally putting myself first, meditating, listening to all parts of my whole being. Nice. Listening to tell people, learning to tell people no, and setting boundaries to protect my own energy. I'm reserving my energy to invest into myself. I will be strong enough to help others, but right now it's a solo journey to rediscover who I am. Started paying attention to the signs and world around me, always being grateful and living in genuine kindness from the heart. Thank you so much, Jessica, for sharing so much of yourself with us. And yeah, it's that the hard things we go through, the challenging things we go through, I believe are designed to wake us up. They're designed to create boundaries. They're designed to give us this sense, like this coming home that you are embodying, and you are saying, no, this is not working for me anymore. And the depth that you can go with this, is based on your capacity, right? So this capacity that you had to be magnified by a million down the shadow side of things is exactly the capacity you have to go into the light. So a million times into the light of what you're here to do and bring in your medicine for the world. So I so honor you for being on this journey. And so one last thing that I want to look at, because what part of what we're going to be doing for after our class today is creating a declaration around what you want to create in your life. Because again, right, that power of your words, that ability to create form out of nothing comes from your words, your thoughts, your actions. And so by creating a declaration of who you are being going forward from the work in this container is going to make more magic available. Your creative power, your ability to bring into the world, to have this relationship you want with yourself, with your intuition, with your people you love, the job you want, whatever that is. Declarations are a beautiful way. I say declarations every morning. And one of my ones I'm working with at the moment is everything is to my advantage. Everything. As my life, as we talked about the falling down and the falling apart, it's like everything is to my advantage. And so it is because I declare it to be that way. And so it doesn't have another option. And so if you're up for putting in the chat, I'd love to hear like what you would love in your life. Like what do you want to create moving forward out of this container? What are you declaring? And, just I after the class, the exercise has you take a little time and work with that. And obviously there's also going to be some dragon fire involved. I've got to sit with that and put that up for you, since that's a new some new asking of our container and us. But what do you want to create? Like, who are you going to be moving forward? And while you were typing, I am going to, one of the things we had with this container is I offered some prizes for people showing up and being here. And so I am just going to pull, there were 2 prizes, and I'm just going to pull a couple names out of my hat here. And the first prize that I had offered was an intuitive journey session. So that will be going to Tammy Cole. She is not here on the call with us today, I don't think, but Tammy, if you're listening to the replay, I will love to go on this journey with you. And then the second one is a shamanic creating session. And so just pulling a name out of the hat. And for that one, it is Joanna Tommen. Tommen, I think I'm saying your name right, Joanna. So that one is for, yay, thanks, Alyssa. Yay, Tammy and Joanna. So I look forward to creating with both of you ladies. Happiness and peace. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful things. And that idea of happiness, right? Like, I feel we're all, as a humanity, like everybody wants to be happy. And what we were talking about before, that recognition, right? That happiness lives inside us, and it's turning towards it. It's uncovering it. It's being with it. It's allowing it to be the part of us that shows up. And that next step from that, right? The joy that that real quality of our being, that we are joyful. And from that, our happiness comes and our peace comes. And also knowing that, like back to the everything is to my advantage, that sometimes happiness and peace are not easy, or they're not, there's a lot of sensation involved in those as well. And that when we do embrace all the sensation, that that really allows more of it to be, more of whatever it is we want. And so we I would love to hear, please, anybody else want to share what they are taking or who they are being after we leave here together. Grounding in my own sovereignty and engaging with the divine timing of all things I am creating. Yes. Yeah, the sovereignty, right, Jocelyn, that like I am the creator of my life. I am the decider of my life. I am the manager of my energy. I am the decider. I am me, in me always. And so beautiful. I love that. And then that divine timing, right? Because we are co-creating. Yes, we are creative beings and we are co-creating. So we are little bits of spirit living out life here on earth. And so spirit wants us to have this big, beautiful life that's full of all these amazing things, because that's what it wants to experience through us. And so drawing on that co-creative power, knowing that what I desire is what spirit desires, because otherwise I wouldn't be desiring it, because I am spirit. And so really having that deep knowing that my desires, I can fulfill my desires because I can co-create that with spirit. And so we just have a few minutes left, and I did want to speak to and offer that all of you that are here in this container, there's 95 women that are signed up here in this container with us. And you're all here because you're ready for something more. You are hearing the calling of your soul. You are wanting to deepen this connection with your intuition, with your magic, with spirit. And I would love to offer you the opportunity to go deeper with that to learn how to play with your magic, to learn how to be in that, to have your state of being be in coherence, to connect in with the ancient feminine mysteries, and to deepen your meditation practice, to expand your awareness of your energy body. And so I do just want to extend the invitation that I have a few openings for one-on-one work that will be starting in March. And so I do just want to offer that to you beautiful women in this place of love, and just let's go deeper together. Let's really explore who you are and what you want. And let's just live more fully into life together. And really bring our magic to the world for the good of humanity and for each other. And so I just offer that to you. If anybody is interested, there is an application that you can fill out and then book a call. And we just spend some time going deep and seeing what you want and seeing if us working together is a fit for you. And yeah. So I see there's a few, Carrie has commented in the chat, to harness energy of life, to be in that power and in humility, to offer smile and warmth, to live by that. Yes. Carrie, I know you, and you are a smile and you are warmth all the time. You bring such a beauty of that to the world. And so Alyssa here. Thank you. Thank you, Alyssa. Yes. And thank you, Jessica. And in closing, does anybody have any questions about intuition or about anything? And oh, one thing that I forgot to add, that if we do get on a call from this container, if you're in here, one of the things I'm offering is a free Akashic record reading to anybody that comes into working with me from this container. So it's a sign up bonus that you get. So I just wanted to speak that too. And so Jocelyn says, thank you. Aw, you are a gift, my love, Jocelyn. Thank you. It's been so lovely to be with you. And we do just have a couple more minutes. If anybody has a question that I can answer or anything they want to say. It's been so wonderful being here with you, and just everybody who's on the replay and who is showing up in this circle and feeling this magic transform their lives. I'm so grateful to you. So, hi, Carrie. Well, I guess if nobody has any questions, then I'm going to say I love you and thank you so much for being here. And I will be closing our circle on Sunday, and I will be putting up the PDF for the next series of magical creating that's available as we close out the container for the next few days. I'm holding the space open for you to still work your earth painting and for you to bring in the fire magic that we're going to be using to create some transformation. And if you weren't able to get to the earth painting during our time together, that's, everything is in divine perfect timing. And when you do it, that will be the perfect time for you. And the replays and the PDFs, the teachings will all be available in the community. We're going to archive it so you can come and visit it at any time. That if you would like to do it again around another situation in your life, or just feel you want a little dose of magic, it will always be available in the archives, as is the Intuitive Soul Awakening that Alyssa and I hosted together over the new year. There's some beautiful magical practices in that as well, and that's available in the archives. And as part of the community, there's a lot of resources and information that is available if you go through the posts and you look through the different topics. Alyssa and I are updating and adding new content. And I am also later in this month going to be hosting a Q&A, like a question and answer hour for anything intuitive. You can just show up and bring whatever questions you have, and I'll be answering those questions. And I will also be offering a free mini reading session at some point, either at this month or the beginning of next month. So those are a few things to look forward to. We would just jump on together, and I'll be doing little mini readings for whoever shows up and wants to get a little bit of intuitive guidance. So now I'm really saying goodbye. I forgot I had all those announcements. So that worked out great. All right. Carrie says her spirit animal in the earth painting came through as a sphinx. That is very, very delicious. I can't wait to hear more about that, Carrie.
Thank you, Sarah. This is beautiful.
Thank you, lovely ladies. I love you.
Thank you, Sarah.
Bye. Thank you.